Hello, everyone. This is Yvette Olea from the Creator Collective, and I'm very excited and so honored to be designing for the 12 by 12 cardstock shop today. So, what I've gone ahead and done is I did all my die cutting off camera because there was quite a bit of die cutting I did because I used so many pretty colors and different cardstocks. So I'm going to make two cards today. And I'm going to start by making a rainbow of ice cream cones using the different colors of the matte foil cardstock and the glitter cardstock, as well as a little bit of that holographic. And then I did cut the happy birthday sentiments as well, have those ready to go. And then these other ones I've die cut are for my second card. So I'll show you what I'm doing with those once we start working on that card. So we'll get started by putting together the cones of our ice creams. And so what I did was for the waffle part, I cut that out using that Encore Winter Wheat cardstock. And then I cut the background layer from some of the glitter cardstock. Now, had I thought ahead, I would have put double-sided adhesive on here before die cutting, but I didn't think about that for these. So I'll just have to be real careful using my liquid glue to attach the waffle part of the cone to the background layer. Now on this one, you might be able to tell I did a little bit of ink blending on there, and I'm not sure if I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put another one together and then compare the two to see which one I prefer. So here's the one without ink blending, and then the other one is with ink blending. And I think I prefer the one without the ink blending. So I'll set that other one aside. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put together the rest of our little waffle cones. And I'm just being real careful when I'm putting some of that liquid glue so that I don't get it in areas that are open because I want the glitter cardstock to be able to shine through without any bits of glue on there. And then what I'm doing is using my really strong magnets to hold them in place while that glue dries, and that seems to do the trick. Alrighty, friends, I've got my cones assembled. So now we need to put together our different colors and flavors of ice cream. And I've alternated using different colors and the glitter cardstock as well as the matte foil cardstock. So I did that for a lot of different colors. And I just went through and chose different colors that I thought went together in the packs that I got. And I think I did a pretty good job matching colors. I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue here. Now I have to be real careful because I'm gluing onto a foil cardstock, and sometimes you can get a bit of a smudge, but I'm being real careful placing that on there not to shift it at all. And it looks like it's okay. No smudge on there. And this was truly a labor of love because it was a lot of die cutting and a lot of piecing together. But I wanted to use all these different colors of cardstock, so I just had to do it. So now the little highlight that goes on the ice cream scoop, I used the holographic paper. And for this, I actually did think ahead and put some double-sided adhesive on there before I die cut it. Okay, we have all our ice cream scoops assembled. So now I'm going to attach the cone to the ice cream scoop. And I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm putting that on the back of the ice cream cone. And then, the back of the scoop of ice cream and then attaching the ice cream cone. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them all assembled, which is pretty quick and easy because I'm just putting a little bit of glue on the back of the scoop of ice cream and attaching the cone. And as I'm putting these together, another idea crossed my mind. So I'm making several different ice cream cones here, but I could have done just one ice cream cone and made it a double, triple, or quadruple scoop cone. I could have layered one of the scoops on top of the other and, made it as high as I wanted and maybe even made it on a slimline card. So I could have used all the colors and made a super tall ice cream cone. But that'll be a project for another day. I've already started with this plan, so I'm going to go ahead and continue putting together my ice cream cones for card number 1. All right, now that we have all our ice creams ready to go, I'm going to start working on our card base here. So because I'm using a black card base, I am going to attach a white matte layer on the inside just so it's easier for you to write your message when you're sending it to someone. So then here's some of that silver cardstock, and I'm using that as a background layer. And then I'm kind of arrange here how I want these ice cream cones and trying to figure out also how many I can fit on here. I did go ahead and make a lot of different colors before deciding how many I needed. But I think that's okay because if I have extras, which I will, I'll just save them for another project. And I am using a dry adhesive to attach these for 2 reasons. One, because I'm attaching to foil cardstock, but 2, because I want to make sure I can kind of lift it and move it around if I don't get the placement just right. That way it doesn't really leave any residue, as long as I haven't pressed down too hard on there. And yeah, I want to adjust these. So I am going to move these down just a smidge so they're not quite so close to the edge of that matte layer of cardstock. So now for the next 3 that I'm placing on there, at first I thought I would just lay them flat, but then I thought, it would be nice if we had some added dimension. So I am going to add a little bit of foam tape to the back of these 3 ice cream cones and layer them so that there's that little smidge of dimension on them. And I'm using these narrow strips of foam tape so that it's easier for me to just put it on the edge that needs that lift because I am layering over other pieces of cardstock. Loving the way this is turning out so far. Now, when I do a rainbow of images, I usually try to have some black tied into it. So that's my reason for using a black card base here. And then what I'm doing here is I did cut out the sentiment out of some of that foam that I had from that sampler pack. And this has adhesive on the back. But before I remove that adhesive, I am going to add my holographic cardstock to the front first so that I can make sure that they match up just right. And I'm doing this using some more of my liquid glue, just dabbing on little bits of liquid glue on there. And I'm adding the glue to the foam, not to the holographic paper. That way, if I kind of miss where I'm putting the glue, I don't smudge it on the holographic. It's just on the foam. Now, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and that little bell so that you can get notified when new videos filled with inspiration arrive. Okay, once we have this attached, layered nicely, I let that dry and I removed the release paper from the back. And then I'm adding this to the shadow layer, which is that black glitter paper. And I finally got smart and brought in my reverse tweezers to help me maneuver my sentiment and get it placed just right. Now, because the other ice cream cones are popped up on some foam tape, I'm going to need to pop up the bottom part of this sentiment as well so that they can be at the same level. So I'll add a little bit more of that foam tape here to the bottom part of the sentiment. So I did save a strip of that matte silver foil cardstock, and I'll add that to the inside of our card. Now, once I have that silver strip attached to the inside of the card, I will go ahead and attach the orange ice cream cone to the inside. And that just kind of ties the inside to the front of the card so that they coordinate while still leaving enough room for you to write a personalized message. Alrighty, friends, so here is card number 1. And isn't that just beautiful? Look at that glitter and that matte foil and that holographic paper. Just gorgeous. Now, for card two, I die cut a bunch of the ice cream cones using the white glitter cardstock. Now here I did get smart and I did add double-sided tape to the back of the waffle cone. So that'll make it easier for me to adhere the cones, the waffle part of the cone to the background layer. Now for the ice cream scoops, I still wanted to make a rainbow of ice cream cones. So I know I'm going to need six, five for the front of the card and one for the inside of the card. And that's based on card number one. And what I'm going to do to make these a rainbow of ice cream cones is, you guessed it, I'm going to use some of my blending brushes and some of my inks and make them more pastel colors. I'm going to speed this up while I do my ink blending and kind of show you what I'm doing here. So I chose to go with a lighter ink color for the larger part of the ice cream scoop and then a little bit darker of that same color or color family for the larger highlight of the ice cream scoop. And then for that little sliver, that highlight, I left that as the white glitter so that it could just kind of shine on there. And I think that the cardstock took the ink blending beautifully. Now, one quick note, I do need to learn to be patient and allow the ink to dry a little bit. My fingers got really inky here, and every time I tried to pick up the die cuts, I would smear them. So at some point, I finally got smart and I brought in my pokey tool to try and hold the die cut pieces in place. And then at another point, I got even smarter and brought in my sticky mat so that I could just place those die cuts on the sticky mat and they would not move while I was doing my ink blending. Okay, so here the ice cream scoops are all colored and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble the cones. And then once I assemble all the cones, I will assemble my ice cream scoops. And once I get those all assembled, I will put together our ice cream scoop with our cone. And then we can put together card number two. So I did go ahead and put together the sentiment as well. And what I did for that is I cut out the sentiment out of the white glitter as well. And I ink blended with the same colors. So I have a rainbow on my sentiment as well as the images. Now I attached the glitter silver cardstock to the front of my card base and added the white matte layer on the inside and that strip of the silver glitter on the inside. And I'll add one of the cones on the inside as well. Now these ice cream cones I'm going to lay out kind of in an arch, kind of to mimic a rainbow. So I'm just kind of figuring out how I want them. And this way it looks like the ice cream cones are bursting out of the rainbow sentiment. Now here, because again, no patience, I didn't want to get my fingers smudged as I was pressing down the ice cream cones. I'm using some Post-it notes to kind of push down and not get ink all over my fingers. But once I'm done doing this, I will remember that I have a fixative spray that I can use over these ice cream cones so that I don't have to continue to wait for the ink to dry. So I do eventually spray this with that fixative to make sure it seals in the ink blending. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some foam to the back of this sentiment and attach that to the front of our card. Alrighty friends, so there are our two cards using these beautiful papers from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. Let me know in the comments below which one you like better, the one with the die cut colors of cardstock or the one where I ink blended on the white glitter cardstock. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope I was able to provide you with just a little bit of inspiration today. Have a great day and Thanks for watching. Bye.